Today, we are going to talk about how to get more tips while you are doing your rideshare driving for Uber and Lyft. And stick around at the end of the video. I'm going to share with you what I think is a realistic and strong goal to go for in terms of the percentage of your passengers who give you tips. So everybody, this is Cradeur, and today we're going to talk about tips. A few weeks ago, I shared a video and I showed my pay statement and I had $206 in tips. Now, I don't always get that. I average about 150 to 160 a week, which is a good amount of tips. So I was asked to share some of my strategies and my secrets that I use in order to get more tips. So let's get right into it. The first thing I do is I create a peaceful environment inside of my car. I don't know if you've seen the movie, it's called Cradeur. It features Tom Cruise as an assassin named Vincent, and Jamie Foxx plays a taxi driver named Max. And Max talks about how he's going to start his own company and how it's going to be called Island Limo. And it's going to be this just amazing experience, so good that people won't want to leave his car. I think about that a lot. As you're driving around, you got to ask yourself, what's the environment inside of my car, right? So peaceful environment is what's going to get you more tips. If it's like, people aren't going to give you a tip. They don't feel safe. They feel harried. They want to relax. So make it a nice, peaceful environment. Second thing you can do is make a positive first impression by keeping your car clean, both on the inside and the outside, and keep it smelling good. Now, I'm going to show you a product that I use here. It's called Ozium, and I use the New Car Smell scent. You just need just a little bit. It's really strong, and it's going to make your car smell like fresh and new, which is wonderful. It's particularly useful if you've had somebody who's a smoker who's come into your car and you don't want that smell for your next passenger. Very useful. But I use it every morning just to get my car smelling that way. And then you should get your car washed at least once a week. And you should always kind of sweep the any little dust and stuff off the floor so it looks clean inside of your car. Keep it looking clean, because when people get into a car that's clean and it smells fresh, they're happy. They feel like you're a professional and you're going to do a good job for them, and that they will reward you for with increased tips. Okay, number 3 is play peaceful music. So I like to play jazz. Now, I didn't listen to a lot of jazz till I got this job. I always had a kind of a love affair with Miles Davis and Bitches Brew and Kind of Blue, a couple of albums that he made. But since I started driving, I've listened to a lot more jazz. Man, I've gotten into John Coltrane, and I'll tell you, I get so many compliments by my passengers who tell me how peaceful it was in my car because of the music. Man, I loved your music. Thank God I didn't have to listen to some of that EDM that some of the drivers listen to. So take it from me, you'll get more tips, more love, more money in your pocket if you play some peaceful music. Now, let me show you on Spotify a couple of playlists that I use. The app I use for music is called Spotify. And there are 2 main playlists that I use. I've developed quite a few over the years. But this one right here is called Late Night Jazz, which is wonderful. So you can't go wrong with that one. So you can do a search and type in late night jazz and that'll come up. And the other one that's really great is called Coffee Table Jazz. Coffee Table Jazz right there. You can play that one. Number 4 is work even harder on the long trips for tips. The people you take to work in the morning and you take home in the afternoon aren't going to give you a whole lot of tips. It's the longer rides, the special rides, the tourists in town that are going to give you the best tips. And particularly, you're going to make good tips on the airport runs. So let me just share a few things I do. When I see it's an airport run and I see somebody coming out of their house with luggage, I get out of my car, I walk towards them and take their luggage from them and say, I've got this. Go ahead and get in the car. And then I put it in the trunk. Then as I'm driving, I'll ask them, so hey, where are you going today? And that gets them talking and gets them excited, and they may be going someplace I've been, and we start talking about that. And then when we get to the airport, I am sure to jump out of the car fast, get to my trunk, take the luggage out, put it on. I don't put it on the street. I put it on the sidewalk, and I open up the handle. so that they are ready to go. And I say, have a great trip. Thank you very much. And let them go. That's almost always good for a $5 or a $10 tip. Sometimes I've gotten a $20 tip on an airport run. But those longer rides feel special. And you can really work those rides and get the significant portion of your tips from those long runs. Okay, number 5 will apply to those of you who drive for Lyft, because number 5 is drive for Lyft. The passengers who are Lyft passengers have been tipping from the inception of Lyft, right? Whereas with Uber, for many, many years, Uber passengers didn't have to tip, and it wasn't even an option for them. They would give you cash once in a while, but they weren't used to using the app. The week that I got $206 in tips, I drove exclusively for Lyft. So all other things being equal, if you don't have a preference one way or the other, try driving for Lyft for a week. Number 6, have just a few key accessories in your car. So those accessories are the small little bottles of water, some gum, some tissue, and the last thing is an iPhone charger. So I don't offer those things to every one of my passengers, but I always have them available. And particularly on the longer rides, especially the airport runs, I'll offer water, right, and gum. And a lot of times people, they'll be sniffling. I'll offer them some tissue. They love that. And a lot of times they need an iPhone charger or an Android charger if you're in an area where more people have Androids. In San Francisco, virtually everybody has an iPhone. I don't get asked more than once a year for an Android charger. Okay, number 7 I saved for the last because it's the most important, and that is listen more than you talk. Ask questions and let the passenger talk. The more they feel like you're listening to them, you're providing them a service, the more likely they're going to respond with, wow, I had a good experience with that guy or that woman, I'm going to give them a tip. So ask a question and let them talk. Let them talk. There'll be time for you to respond, but really, people want to talk. So the more you can become a good listener, the more chance you're going to have of getting a tip. Now, so what's a good percentage? So I went back to the week that I made the $206, and I counted how many people gave me a tip. So out of 220 rides that I gave that week, 70 gave me a tip. That's approximately 33%, 30% in that area. I think if you can get 1 out of 4 people to give you a tip, you're doing great, right? That's a strong week. 1 out of 4 people giving you a tip is a really good number to go for. So I suggest set that as your goal and go for it. And I hope this helped you guys. I hope, thanks for watching. I hope you can go out and make more money. It doesn't take any more time, and you can increase how much money you make by getting more tips. So it's a really win-win for everybody there. Now, if you haven't signed up yet for this YouTube channel, this is the Rideshare Guy YouTube channel. New videos come out twice during the week. So subscribe. If you like the video, give it a like. If you have a comment, if you can think of something else that could help with tips, by all means list it below. Everybody, this is Cradeur with the Rideshare Guy. Thanks for watching and be safe out there.